Did you just move to Canada, or are you planning to move soon? Or are you just somebody who's a little rusty on their financial knowledge, having moved a while back? Here are some personal finance related things that you must know and benefit from when in Canada. Before we begin, my name is Rohan and I make videos about personal finance and investing. I moved to Canada in 2019 as an international student and slowly picked up knowledge about personal finance relevant in this country. It took me a while to gather all that information back then, but I would like the next person to watch this and get a head start. Let's start with ground zero. Before we talk about the three important topics, just remember that when you move to Canada, one of the first things you should do is get your social insurance number. Once you have that, all financial tools make sense and can actually be used. Also, watch till the end for some bonus content beyond the three topics. Okay, so here's the first thing you should know about bank accounts. I definitely don't need to tell you what a bank account is, but when you move to Canada, there are several accounts and different options that you must be aware of. The most important thing is that almost all banks offer special accounts for newcomers in Canada, international students, workers, and folks with permanent residency. The goal is to take advantage of that. This means not just walking into the closest bank and opening an account. There are also several branchless online banks that you should know about. We will circle back to this soon, but if you're new to Canada, I wouldn't recommend going with a branchless online bank. Start with one of the big five. Then as you get more comfortable with your finances and living in this country, you can opt for one of the online banks as well. Here are some of the key reasons for going with one of the big five banks. You get access to executives easily. You can talk to them face to face. You can get access to cash easier. And in case you have some emergency or run into some troubles, you can always walk in and get service. So I keep mentioning the big five. The big five banks of Canada are TD, CIBC, RBC, Scotiabank, and BMO. Also remember, don't shy away from going for banks like the National Bank if it fits your requirements better. In fact, in the past, National Bank offered some of the best newcomer packages with no fee banking accounts up to 3 years. Talking about that, here are some things that all banks offer. No fee banking for at least the first 1 or 2 years. 2 years, especially if you're a student. You also get access to no fee international transfers with some of the banks. As you'll see, almost all of them have programs for newcomers and international students. The offerings may vary based on your status. For example, an international student may not get all the benefits that a worker might get, but nonetheless, you should be able to find something nice to get started with. The next thing you should make yourself aware of is the credit score system in Canada. You may come from a country where a credit score system did not exist, or you come from a country where it did exist. It doesn't matter because when you move to Canada, you have to start building your credit score from scratch. So just to refresh, what is a credit score? Your credit score is a number based on specific information from your credit report. This number and report helps lenders determine how likely you are to repay your future debt. Your credit score can change as often as every month, and it's up to the lenders to decide how they want to interpret this score. The scores typically range from 300 to 900, and there are two credit bureaus that keep track of this: TransUnion and Equifax. Here's what credit scores look like according to Equifax. As you'll see, close to 60% of Canadians tend to maintain an excellent score. This is why it's very important for you to maintain a good score as well. A few years ago, from what I hear, the credit score was not something to obsess over. As long as you maintained a good enough score and not a bad one, you were eligible for most loans. But now it's becoming much more competitive. Credit scores are now being checked for various things. For example, when you want to rent a new house or even when you go for employment. One simple example to showcase the importance of credit score is the Vancouver rental market. It is incredibly competitive and it can come down to something as simple as the credit score, which decides between two potential renters who gets the house. And trust me, when in cities like Vancouver and Toronto you find a house that you like, you really do not want to miss out on those. Credit scores depend on several factors and we'll take a look at them in a different video, but for now you should know about these two factors. First, length of credit history. Second, past payment history. As a newcomer, you have neither. In my opinion, the easiest way to get started and build a good credit score in the 3 to 6 months of you arriving in Canada is to get a credit card. Use this credit card at about 30% utilization and make sure you turn on auto pay so you never miss any payments. If you just do this, you are very likely to start with a score way above 600. Even if you're someone who generally stays away from credit cards, you should get one just to build this credit score. All the banks discussed previously offer good credit card deals for newcomers. Even as a student, you can get access to basic credit cards pretty easily. Overall, just be responsible when using the credit cards. The third thing that you should be aware of are the registered savings plans offered by the government. While there are few schemes and plans offered by the Canadian government, I believe the three most important ones that you must be aware of are your RRSP, TFSA and FHSA. Before we look at these three, if you like the video so far, please hit like and comment with any questions that you may have. And subscribe for upcoming videos. Now back to the topic. So what is the RRSP? The RRSP stands for Registered Retirement Savings Plan and is the plan designed to help Canadians save for their retirement. It allows individuals to contribute money to this account and grow it over a period of time while taking advantage of the tax benefits. In general, people invest in assets that grow over a period of time so that they have enough money when they retire. All contributions made to the RRSP are tax deductible and tax-free until you decide to withdraw it. However, when you move to Canada, you cannot just start using the RRSP. The contribution limit for the RRSP is determined after you file your taxes for the first time. For example, if you move to Canada in 2023, you do not really have contribution room until 2024. It's because the contribution room depends on the previous year's income. Even though RRSP is not available to you immediately, it's something that you should know about from the beginning. However, there are two accounts that are available to you from the beginning. The first one is TFSA, which stands for Tax-Free Savings Account. It's a financial account made available by the Canadian government where individuals can contribute to save and invest tax-free. That means there are no taxes on the capital gains. The contribution room for the TFSA starts from the year you move to Canada. For example, if you move to Canada in 2023, you immediately get a TFSA contribution limit of $6,500. So you can contribute, invest, and enjoy the no tax capital gains immediately. The next one, and a very newly introduced plan, is called the FHSA, which stands for First Home Savings Account. As the name suggests, it's an account that should eventually help you buy your first home. The contribution room for this also starts from the year you move to Canada, and as soon as you open an FHSA, you get the contribution room limit of $8,000 every year, but the lifetime cap on this is $40,000. So you can decide when you want to open it. I like the FHSA because it has qualities of both the RRSP and TFSA. Any contributions to the FHSA are tax deductible, and any capital gains are tax free. So the earlier you start, the more time you have to grow this amount so that you have more money to put towards your first home. I recently made in-depth videos about the RRSP, TFSA and FHSA, and you can find them on my channel. Now if you're stuck around for so long, it's time for the bonus topic. I believe one more thing that you should know about is the Canadian income taxes. Trust me, the first time you get paid, you're stuck wondering where did all my money go? So it's better to have an understanding of how the taxation works. The key components of the tax system are as follows. The taxation is divided into federal tax and provincial tax. The provincial taxes can vary a lot and play a role in determining where you want to live. For me, it played a huge role in my move from Quebec to British Columbia. However, I save almost 6.2% in taxes after having moved here. It was not the only factor in my move, but it definitely played a key role. The second thing to know about the system is that it follows progressive tax. It means that the tax rate increases as the taxable income increases. As you will see in this federal tax rate chart, the lowest bracket is 15%, while the highest can go up to 33%. Please note you can find several tax calculators online if you want to get a hang of how much taxes you'll be paying. It's great to know about other deductions in your paycheck as well, such as those going towards pension plans, disability, and more. We will look at income taxes in depth in a future video. One last thing about taxes, when you move to Canada initially, your taxes are going to be very simple to do. And there are several self-directed tools such as Simple Tax that can help you file your own taxes. I have filed my own taxes since 2019 and never had any issues. Keep that in mind when the tax season comes around. I'm sure I'll be making a lot more videos about taxes then. With this, we come to the end of this video. I hope this helps some newcomers in Canada. I welcome you to Canada and I hope you make good financial decisions. Until next time.